Hi, I'm Katie Carmendi. I teach math at Mooresville High School, and I'm making this help video to show how to create a Google form that corresponds with a locked box activity. I went to Exit Strategy in Charlotte, and basically in Exit Strategy, you try to get out of a locked room. So it's a very similar concept in my classroom where the kids try to get into a locked box. So what the Google form is going to do is it's going to try to give them the correct combination to get in this locked box, and then there's either treats or more problems in the locked box. So I'm going to go ahead and start showing you how to do that. So I do actually have a how to create a lock combination activity that takes you step by step on what to do on Google Forms. So if you want to email me, I can add you as a collaborator on this or let you view it. It's Caitlin Carmendi, which is Caitlin Carmendy at mgsd.k12.nc.us. So I created this sample one for a professional development activity. It's basically just facts about North Carolina. So as you can see, I have three problem sets. This is problem set 1, problem set 2, and problem set 3. I always have three problem sets because there's three numbers to unlock a standard lock combination. You could have more or less if you had different locks, but I use standard locks. So if we actually go and look at the answers for problem set 1, let's start with problem set 1. So it says the year Pepsi was invented in first surge in North Carolina divided by 26. The correct answer is 1898, and if you divide that by 26, you get 73. If you also answer the second question, it says James K. Polk was born in Mecklenburg County, North Carolina. Take the number that is significant about him and subtract 4. So he was the 11th president of the United States, so 11 minus 4 is 7. So the three numbers that I want to get from this problem set are 7, 3, 7. So now I'm going to take you to what the Google form looks like. So this is the Google form. And what the kids are going to do is fill out their group names. And then they also are trying to figure out the first three numbers in the first problem set. That will allow them to move on in the Google form. So I'm going to type the wrong answer first. I'm going to type 734. You can see that it's giving the kids an error message that this is not the correct combination. That's because it's not the right answers to the first problem set. So now I'm going to type in 737. You can see I no longer have an error message, so I'm good to move on in my Google form. So you can see in the next page of my Google form, it tells me that the first number to the combination is 17. That's the first number to my lock combination. So I just want to save that, write it down, and save it for the end of the activity. To keep going on and getting more numbers for my lock combination, I need to answer the rest of the problem set. So problem set 2 is the year that North Carolina's first town was incorporated divided by 55. That would be 1705 divided by 55 is 31. And then the day of the month that Babe Ruth hit his home run in Fayetteville was the 7th day of the month, and then 7 plus 2 is 9. So the next three numbers that I need in my Google form are 319. So again, if I just type in 31 or even 318, it says this is not the correct combination. In order to move on, I need the correct numbers 319. This also forces the students to ask you questions if they're struggling, because Google form is telling them if they're right or wrong. So 319 is the correct answer, and now I know that my first number to my lock combination is 17. My second number is 28. So again, 17 and 28 I want to set aside, but I need three numbers to unlock my lock combination, so I need to answer the last set of problems. The last set of problems, I'm not going to read them, but the answers are 116. So again, I'd go to my Google form and type in 116. So now I know that the last number to my combination is 9, so it's 17, 28, 9. As you can see in my window, I have a whole bunch of bags here. I split my class into at least 6 groups, and they have no idea which bag is theirs. Even though they may be group 1, that doesn't mean they're bag 1. So I add these little picture puzzles to kind of add a little bit of a fun element in this lesson. So they have to solve that picture puzzle to figure out which bag is theirs. So the answer to this picture puzzle would be Ring Around the Rosie. And again, you have to get it right to move on, because there's the word Rosie in a circle, so Ring Around the Rosie. I don't get an error message, so the Google form moves me on to tell me which bag number is mine. So I'm bag number 6, and now I know the 3 numbers to my lock combination was 17, 28, 9. So I'm going to type in 17, go back to 28, and finally 9. So I get in my locked bag, and then as you can see, there's some treats in my locked bag. So how I make this possible is by using the validation feature in Google Form. So this is kind of showing you the back end of how I make my Google form work. Whenever you're trying to create a question, you want to make it short answer. That's the first one. So you have all these choices. You want to make it short answer. And then you want to click on the 3 dots and use the data validation feature. I already have it turned on, so nothing else is going to show up. But this row right here is what will show up when you click data validation. So there's 2 ways that you can do this. You can either validate by numbers, which is what I did, or you could also validate by text. So say you had a bunch of multiple choice questions, you could click text and then contains, and say the 2 answers to your multiple choice questions were B then A, you could type in BA. What you want to make sure that you do though is you want to make sure you fill in your own custom error text. I usually say this is not the correct combination, or this is not the correct letters. You want to add an error message just so it doesn't give away the answers. So moving on, you can see the Ring Around the Rosie is actually how I validated it. I validated it with text. But the number part of my Google form, I actually validated with numbers. So again, when you click that data validation button, you would click number, and then there's all these choices, but if you want it to be the exact answer, you want to click equal to. So that's kind of the basics of how I make this work with Google Forms. To make this work with multiple groups, it's very simple. I just make a copy of the Google form, and then everybody in the class has the same problems. The only thing that changes is the numbers to their lock combination. So the only thing that I would change from form to form is what numbers correspond with what group. So maybe group 2 has bag 3, so now I would want to type in the combination for bag 3. Maybe it's 6, 10, 14. So I would just change these numbers to 6, 10, 14, and then make sure that group 2 is on this Google form. So once you create one Google form, it's not very much work to make a copy of it and make it work for multiple groups in your class. So again, if you have any questions, just email me. It's Caitlin Carmendi at mgsd.k12.nc.us. Hopefully you have some fun with this in your classroom this year.